A bit of a disclaimer, I'm not the biggest fan of Natalie Portman. I'm the first to admit when she's done something good, but unfortunately for me, that hasn't happened very often. Hey everybody, I'm Gino Reynolds from The Real Gino, and today we're going to be talking about Jackie, starring Natalie Portman. Following the assassination of President John F. Kennedy, First Lady Jackie Kennedy fights through her grief and trauma to regain her faith, console her children, and define her husband's historic legacy. As I stated in the intro, I'm not a big fan of Natalie Portman. My favorite role of hers is as Matilda in Leon the Professional, and by the way, I'm still waiting on that sequel, Mr. Besson. Sadly, when it comes to Miss Portman, the bad taste of the Star Wars prequels and the Thor movies doesn't leave my mouth very easily. Now, that being said, how did I feel about her performance in Jackie? While I don't think the performance was as good as a lot of people are saying, and I know I'm probably the minority, I thought she did a decent job as the former First Lady. A lot of reviewers are saying things like they lost the actor in the performance, but I have to disagree. While at times I forgot I was watching Portman playing a role, other times it was pretty obvious. For some reason, she is just one of those actresses that I have trouble believing are the character, Matilda from Leon the Professional honestly being the lone exception. As a whole, Jackie overall wasn't a bad movie. I think that it was the look of the movie as well as the supporting players that really made it stand out for me. While he wasn't in it a ton, I really liked John Carroll Lynch as Lyndon B. Johnson. He was involved in the part of the story where Johnson had to be sworn in pretty much right after Kennedy was killed. That part of the movie was interesting because it dealt with Mrs. Kennedy's mindset right after her husband was assassinated. It felt like her husband was almost being instantly forgotten because the new leadership had to be put in place so quickly. Lynch, in a very small and quiet role, played the part well. For me, the two roles that really stood out were Peter Sarsgaard as Bobby Kennedy and Billy Crudup as a reporter based on the real Life magazine's Theodore H. White. I really like that Sarsgaard played down the character of Bobby Kennedy. I have seen in too many movies how they've used him as a character and it almost felt like a caricature of the man. This didn't happen here. Crudup, along with Portman, sort of narrates the story throughout the whole movie. The whole plot is based around an interview that happened between White and Mrs. Kennedy. Lastly, it was nice to see the late John Hurt in what will probably be his final high-profile role. He plays a priest that discusses why God would allow the horrible things that happened to happen. While I didn't like this movie as well as Portman's performance as much as some reviewers, it wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. All of the different pieces as a whole, not just Portman's performance, made this one to maybe take a look at. As always, thank you so much for watching. What did you think of Jackie? Feel free to comment on it down below, give this video a like, and subscribe to the Real Gino YouTube channel. But remember, it's only just one guy's opinion. I'm Gino Reynolds from The Real Gino. Till next time.